Hey guys, Kevin Cage back with another cryptocurrency update. Welcome to the channel. Like and subscribe if you're serious about the digital asset space. Let's get right into it today. One take and uncut. So to kick things off, guys, I am Legion. Just as a reminder, Ripple has made its first move towards building decentralized finance. Again, DeFi products, guys, based all on XRP and the XRP ledger itself. We know that they have funded various initiatives at this point, especially Spring, as they can kind of tackle building upon the XRP ecosystem, as Ripple is tackling the cross-border payments, international payments sector. Now, what's interesting is that Ripple, time and time again, and various executives have said that they are not going to spread themselves too thin, going after too many use cases until cross-border payments is on lock. So yet we see that, of course, Ripple helping in acquiring Logos, what was it, Algram, all of these massive groups in various industries, various countries. We can see the Logos acquihires will now help Ripple build XRP derivatives, loans, futures, forwards, said Ethan Beard, Senior VP of Spring. Now remember, loans, lending, the planning. We have Miguel Valles talking about this lending program from, 2 years ago, give or take. It has all been planned. You think that, they're just going, one of the highest valued Silicon Valley companies in history is just, spitballing here? No, this has been in design for quite a long time, guys. This is billions and billions of dollars at risk and invested. All right. And of course, they're supporting, as I've been saying in a lot of videos lately, the majority of these companies are backed by Goldman Sachs. All right. We've made investments in the DeFi companies in the past. We've invested in Securitize as well. Coinbase has invested in Securitize. We know even Tezos has had some massive success with Securitize. It's a done deal. The tokenization of assets, the true assets, not all 5,000 cryptos will survive, but maybe the top 100 or top few hundred that solve a real purpose are going to explode. None of this is financial advice, guys. Please do your own research, question everything I'm sharing with you, and I want to cover this information. So remember, this has already been in design again, even with, the derivatives products. And again, this is hundreds of trillions, if not low, $1.2 quadrillion, give or take, this market. So you're saying that XRP cannot even get a portion or a fraction of this? And I disagree. When you look at all these groups, when you look at CGI, when you look at CLS, when you look at Earthport, when you look at, Nacha, when you look at Finastra, you're going to see all these connections and realize it seems like Ripple was built from the ground up with this kind of in mind. It almost seems like the powers that be have kind of incorporated this system to truly be part of the new financial system as we migrate towards distributed ledger tech because of obviously counterparty risk. This is a permissionless basis, open landscape, transparency, much more scalable, much more secure. There's not as much systemic risk, if I have not said that already. There's not a central point of failure, so that there's massive resiliency on the network. It's, basically just time to do it. The way that we're doing things now is archaic. It's 40 years old. And I think when all is said and done, we're going to look back, even, a couple years from now, we're going to look back and go, how did we ever function as a society regarding trade and finance? And it's not even going to just touch those sectors. All right, before I keep ranting about that. So right here, Anders Lundberg, a lot of talks about banks holding XRP being delayed because of lack of regulations, but did sufficient infrastructure for banks to safely hold XRP and digital assets even exist back in 2018? No. Now and he says, and again, Polysign, the website says, goes live in 2020. I'm waiting for end of year for something big, guys. There's just too much pointing towards it, and we will see what happens. All right, so Polysign is a massive behemoth. Again, Polysign.io. This is shared by Real XRP Boy. It can't be more obvious, guys. Hold on for dear life, the acronym. XRP, HODL, HODL, whatever you guys want to say. Rest is noise. It's so early. We'll be building for the next 10, 20, 30 years, guys. I think, capital markets maturity 2025, 2030 max. I think that there's going to be massive rollout I think by end of year, we're in for a massive surprise. Keep price as low as possible for as long as possible until they're ready to go and flip the switch, so to speak, meaning turn on and really get some true liquidity. Now, if the collateralization talks are actually true, this is where that flip of switch or kind of price set could take play. And I'll talk a little bit about that at the end of the video. Mickey B. Fresh hammers some points home, as always. So right here, guys, on Polysign's website, the opportunity of a generation. Our mission at Polysign is to drive global use of digital assets by building best-in-class infrastructure that enables institutions to secure and transact in digital assets across the capital markets and payment sectors. Every single video, I show you different statistics, different numbers, 24 trillion in trade finance, even from 2016. You can understand the gravity of this situation, and this is not just going to be currencies interoperating or being transacted. This is truly all value that is going to be tokenized. Now it's, going to be just like State Street said, trickle, 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 then flood. So the people that make money are the ones that buy and hold at these times of such uncertainty, such low price. It is truly cognitive dissonance. It doesn't make sense. Why would a global bridge asset be suppressed for so long at these prices? And it deters people. This, in my opinion, is made by design. It is absolutely genius. Now let's go through a few pieces of news. So right here, Matthew, L-I-N-Y, FlickPay is live with XRP payments. Awesome news. So again, FlickPay, a better way to make cross-border payments. FlickPay is leading the charge to build Africa's leading cross-border payment network to connect Africa digitally to the rest of the world. Remember, a massive population of unbanked. Africa, India, huge markets to help people, but also for banks to capitalize off of. All right? And remember, we have to connect these networks via ILP or even, Mojaloop. It's all made by design. Mojaloop, Ripple, and the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation working together to do such a thing, and then even Hyperledger with their initiative with Interledger Protocol. When you really look at everything, you just, so to speak, I don't like the analogy, but it's like taking the red pill. You see what it is. So again, FlickPay, as we can see in the screenshot, proud to announce our crypto payment gateway is live. Starting from today, businesses in Africa can accept payments in cryptocurrencies. So Bitcoin, US dollar, or USDT, I should say, Ethereum, Litecoin, and Ripple's XRP. All right, 5 minutes or less, just talking about the benefits. And here's the currencies included from Kenya, Ghana, South Africa, Uganda, etc. All right, next up. All right, so right here, really cool. So again, the network just keeps growing, and I just wanted to kind of point to this. So King Solomon showing us DLocal or DLocale, I'm going to say DLocal, is a RippleNet partner already, guys. Now they integrated with Shopify, another e-commerce behemoth. Partnership allows international e-commerce merchants the ability to accept local payment methods in emerging markets through DLocal's payment processing network. So it's all been by design. Remember, it's not just cross-border payments, it's e-commerce. It's a 24/7, 365 marketplace for all groups to source liquidity from a multi-currency bridge asset. There's, a plethora of benefits backing this, and it is all right in front of you. And some statistics again, this is billions of dollars, guys, in hundreds, well over 100 countries, excuse me. All right? So now, and then also, just to kind of tie it back, DLocal sounds familiar. Well, why? Because we just recently talked about them. And let me go back here. We just recently talked about DLocal, guys. Right here. So again, this is I Am Legion on his recent blog, or not recent blog, but we kind of showed it. And again, remember, DLocal adds WeChat. So RippleNet partner adds these groups as well. So they're integrated partners of partners. WeChat, Alipay, which is one of the biggest networks in the world, and UnionPay to the portfolio of emerging market payments. We can see helping global merchants capture 70% of the market in China. And yes, Ripple has met with the Chinese banks, some of the biggest central banks in the world. And yes, banks in China, there's no question in my mind that this has already been in the works for quite some time. All right, so then DLocal, you can see here, just I was looking at the website earlier. And then again, RippleNet partnered with, and remember, American Express is a RippleNet partner. American Express and Lian International, they joined joint ventures. They have vested interests, and they were working together to capture huge payment markets and networks within China as well. And Lian joins RippleNet to provide faster payments in China. When you look and you realize how much money, again, Chinese e-commerce alone is totaled at $672 billion in 2017. It just keeps going, guys. All right? I mean, we can go through this forever, and I just want you guys to please do your own research, and then you can, realize it's not really that crazy to think or far-fetched. All right, again, this is an old article showing DLocal is one of their, newest and latest partners. Remember that also recent news from Rock Bank, no surprise. You can even see Qualix, Mercury FX, those groups. Makes me think those were the first little guys to go live on XRapid. Now it's called On-Demand Liquidity, XRP. It's just all right in front of you this entire time, and it's crazy. My eyes can't even believe themselves, guys, and I do believe wholeheartedly in XRP having massive success in the future. When I say massive success, I don't mean just utility. I mean price appreciation. I am here to make money, period, right? Not financial advice. I'm going to keep saying that as a preface to make sure I don't get in trouble. All right, so right here, guys. This is really interesting. Now, this might be really bullish to some people. I personally don't see this as the biggest use case, but I think it's still very good. So again, on Spring, we realized this. So XRP enables faster, low-cost cross-exchange transfers. So now XRP is actually being used as a bridge asset for Bitcoin and Ethereum because during, times of congestion on the Bitcoin and Ethereum network, look at this. Recently, especially with the Bitcoin halving, they reached unprecedented level transaction fees. And I mean, yeah, Bitcoin, heavily, extremely expensive. It's never going to be a global bridge asset in terms of, for payments. No way. Is it a store of value? Perhaps. It's up to you. And that's still speculative. But then Ethereum, a little cheaper, better, transactions per second, better scalability, TPS. But look at this. Both transaction fees for both assets exceeded 5x the norm. So 5 times the norm, guys. Currencies in and out were extremely difficult due to the high fees and delaying processing. And so what happens is, due to the data, they actually saw that more people were, for example, transferring their Ethereum or, let's say transferring their Bitcoin to XRP, then sending it over to another exchange and then transferring it back to their Bitcoin or Ethereum rather than just sending those assets, because XRP's fees are pennies. They're minuscule. It's a fraction of a cent typically, right? Fractional. So there's just no question on my mind when it can settle in 3 to 5 seconds rather than 8 minutes or even an hour, right? That is just something huge. Now, again, is this going to be some massive use case? Not necessarily, but even the biggest Bitcoin maxis, the biggest believers in Ethereum, the people that maybe don't believe in XRP because they see it's adopted by banks and they don't want to, go with the system because they're, kind of anarchists. That's fine. I get the sentiment, but you're still using the token and showing its utility. So when you're asking what is going to be, some of the big open source protocols that are built upon to connect to these permissioned databases and permissioned blockchains in the future, why would they pick something that does not have the highest, speed, scalability? It just doesn't make any sense. Everything's fungible with the XRP ledger. There's so many benefits to the ledger itself compared to any other ledger or blockchain. It just, zero doubt in my mind. Truly, we're early. I understand we're at, 20 cents. I get it. But when the time comes, just know that this is one of the few assets I see having unlimited upside. All right, next up, this is a really cool point, guys. Please pay attention to this. This is where it gets even more bullish. This is, some speculation, but it's also combined with, true groups talking about this. So pay attention. Capco.com. This is shared by Mickey B. Fresh. Mickey, if you're watching this, I appreciate it, man. I sent you a little XRP tip earlier. So here it is, ladies and gentlemen, a glimpse at final solution from a professional consulting agency. Directly referring to Ripple XRP, no speculation or hype, sounds like an enhanced version of David Schwartz, again CTO of Ripple, his stablecoins proposal. What's everybody's thoughts on this? So let's take a peek. So, following the high-level examples serve as demonstration of how the result of such an implementation could appear. Only be visible for specified parties through a zero-knowledge proof. Okay, so there's some privacy there. And then right here, for this enclosed distributed ledger ecosystem to work to function, a vehicle is required to transfer funds between accounts. The institutions could utilize a stablecoin of choice, such as Ripple, XRP. And again, when they mean that, you have to read between the lines. It does not, just so you know, it's not XRP at a stable low value. I can assure you of that. Right, so according to Ripple, we can see cross-border transactions using the system take under 7 seconds to occur. Each member bank could purchase an amount of the stablecoin. Okay, so whether that's XRP or a stablecoin that's collateralized by and on the XRP ledger, then peg to the value of their currency of choice at the time of the transaction and traded across the network to then be cashed out on the receiving end for the currency of choice. Each member bank would then have the option of using a stablecoin to enable transactions across border and conduct the transactions over multiple currencies and forms of collateral. So remember, if you guys have not seen that stablecoin proposal by David Schwartz, please do so. I do not believe that it's been removed from YouTube, but if it has, it's all around on Twitter. I'm sure you can find it. So David Schwartz, stablecoin proposal, collateralized tokens, something along those lines. All right, so right here, stablecoins are stabilized in several ways. First, being backed by another asset, gold, dollars like fiat, euro, or other cryptocurrencies. So you can back it by any asset. And now these assets actually have an initial backing, whether it's the finite supply, or, US dollars just backed by nothing, unfortunately. All right. In the case of cryptocurrencies backing stablecoin, a large reserve is held across the network to prevent price shocks of the underlying cryptocurrency from affecting the stablecoin. These stablecoins can also be backed by algorithms that are changed and validated from central banks into their networks, similar to how a government can print more currency. Pay attention. Remember, Ripple's validators, from the beginning, they've been saying that they're geographically distributed so that basically the top 50 central banks, even every single central bank, can have a validator. And they're all distributed, and it seems a lot more fair, right? And they can choose who the validators are. So when these governmental bodies or these government bodies want to get on, they all are in control, and they have this own type of control of consensus, but also they could create some type of privacy layer for their central bank digital currencies if they, they ran over the XRP ledger, if they were bridged by XRP on the XRP ledger, etc. All right. So right here, we can see Capco, and this is the group again just talking about this. Now, let's scroll down a little bit because this is a really cool thread, and I just want to read some of this verbatim. So Mickey B. Fresh again. This part sounds like it could be part of Polysign with, know your customer identity solution. And again, that's kind of compliance, big concern for cryptocurrency and money today. So right here, this transaction, but could create a private distributed ledger using zero knowledge proof cryptology. I'm trying to just speed read through this. All right. And again, just talking about the distributed ledger network, knowing about KYC, anti-money laundering, AML processing. With their CRMs exactly, okay? So again, Polysign will be a behemoth, but then check out standard custody as well. They're going to kind of play they're two different sides of the same token. Same initiative, but they're going to have different applications as well. And we've talked about that numerous times as well. I think the Real Money, or Real Lisa, what's her name? Real Lisa Daily? She had some great information on that. So again, proprietary blockchain tech, leading blockchain architects, Arthur Brito, the ghost, the man, the myth, the legend, and then David Schwartz designed Polysign's technology. David Schwartz, guys, CTO of Ripple currently. Polysign's tech for securing digital assets, their third generation proprietary private blockchain technology, is foundational to the development of digital asset infrastructure. Remember, before we can have trillions of dollars flooding into the system, we need Polysign and other custody groups and, security measures to be live to secure and store the assets. Ensure that transactions, everything is ready, the infrastructure is built, and then you can open up the floodgates. And the funny thing is, Polysign said live by 2020. So we have an interesting, 6-7 months to go. All right, right here, raising the standard in regulation and compliance. We aim to integrate with existing financial organizations and global markets and rigorously embrace the highest standards for regulation. Remember, Polysign, David Schwartz, says he's very excited about it, but due to non-disclosure agreements, he cannot talk about it. That means there's plans for it. FYI. All right, the opportunity of a generation, building best in class, we already read this, transacting digital assets across the capital markets and payment sector. Remember, I've shown you the slides with NTT data showing the capital markets and connecting networks, connecting the Facebooks, the Alibabas, the, even using SAP, Microsoft, all of these groups. There's so much being built. It's way beyond just cross-border payments. All right, we've shown you all of these networks that have to communicate. And again, their ledgers have to communicate. And there's different types of value. And this is all about driving capital efficiency in the marketplace. When this money is released and can operate so much faster, this is going to have this type of exponential effect on everything, on efficiency, on productivity, on the economy, for everything, guys. And welcome, billions that are unbanked. There's just, the implications are, not catastrophic. They're the exact opposite. They're explosive in a good way. All right, groundbreaking security, guys. Patented systemic security enables best-in-class storage, transactions, and payments. This is all Polysign still. So now as we keep going, again, Anders Lundberg, YouTube channel, check it out. So right here, Schwartz stablecoin, this is David Schwartz stablecoin solution, is the best solution I've seen with it being collateralized by XRP. I think there are plans of making XRP a popular form of collateral, not just as backing for a stablecoin, but for other financial instruments as well. It makes a lot of sense. And who are the groups? There's been a lot of groups really talking about this. And this goes well beyond just collateralized debt positions, which is really interesting. But even like Kava Labs, I know, they're working with Cosmos and the Cosmos platform and Interledger Protocol. Pay attention to these groups, guys. There's tons of backing, and you have to see, what the top executives are kind of backing. Right? And then Mickey B. Fresh. Yes, exactly. Using XRP to back a stablecoin means it's still XRP. So XRP can just shift its unit of account to any other currency or asset, according to David Schwartz's proposal. Overcoming the over-collateralization is the hardest part. Theoretically, escrow, again, the billions in escrow that are locked up via smart contracts, could be used as a reserve pool. Interesting. Now, was this planned back in 2017? Perhaps. Anything's possible, okay? Now, let's see, Michael, I think he misinterpreted what he said, and then he just said, you're totally missing the point. It's not XRP being backed by something. It's that XRP can be used to back a stablecoin pegged to any asset or currency. This stablecoin is still XRP. It's just in a different form and a different unit of account, all right? So pay attention. And then look, right here, we have 30-second clip of David Schwartz. So this is the actual video of him discussing. And I just thought this was absolutely fascinating. Now, Brad Kimes did a short video covering this kind of theory. And again, keep in mind, this is all theoretical right now, but we're talking kind of seeing what's happening in terms of the news with collateralization. It seems very, very interesting. At the center of this is the XRP ledger and the decentralized exchange. We have the, central bank digital currencies kind of around them. They could potentially have a privacy layer. And then on the outside, all of, we have the initial value that is used. And once the collateral is taken, this is where a potential price set could occur. This is why people say it is very possible in the future, if they decide to go onto the system, for the masses to go on the system, at least institutional guys. I don't think retail will really use the XRP ledger that much, but institutionally, we have to have the initial value, whether it is, precious metals like gold, maybe even oil and commodities and some fiat and central bank digital currencies. But the actual fiat in this value is initiated, and that's kind of the real value. And then there's also collateralization with this. So it goes very, very deep, guys. I don't want to get too deep into it because obviously we're so early now. We're going to kind of have to just wait and see what happens. All right, so right here, Stephen Bull from the D-Up, just another point that I wanted to show you. I know people have already seen this, an official document from the Arab Monetary Fund mentioning how crypto assets like XRP helps reduce liquidity costs from pre-funding local currency accounts. April 2020, amf.org, as we can see, just mentioning XRP right there. Feel free to pause the screen if you want to read this. Give you 1 second. All right, and if you want to read this one as well, just talking about the models of DLT Tech, talking about XRP and cross-border retail payments. All right. And again, the link is there and I always retweet it. So if you don't have a Twitter, highly recommend you guys get into Twitter. You can follow me. That link is in the video description as well. All right. And then right here, King Solomon, we're going to speed through this. Don't even feel like spending my time on this because it was covered extensively. But Ripple partnership could improve supply chains and the pandemic. Yoshitaka Kitao, CEO of SBI Holdings. And again, SBI, one of the largest shareholders, not only Ripple, but also R3, wants them to work in tandem. Ripple doing the low value, high volume payments, and R3's the trade finance big boys, Wall Street, institutional investors doing the high value trillions of dollars. So they complement each other. Ripple is kind of the first step, R3 potentially being that second step in my mind. All right, a Japanese financial firm has suggested Ripple join hands with multiple multinational firms and financial institutions. So, I feel like that was a long video, guys. Hopefully you got something out of this and found it interesting enough. I think that token collateralization will be absolutely massive. I still have to continue to do a lot of research. If you do watch that video of David Schwartz, it is, to be honest, pretty difficult to keep up with, but a lot of it does make sense, and many, many people in the community are breaking it down each and every day. What I do recommend if you want to learn is just looking up what collateralized or collateral debt positions are. Very, very interesting. And if you guys are interested in exit plans and you're looking to sell back in the US dollar in the future, post-moon, whatever cryptocurrency you believe in or cryptos that you're diversified in, look up CDPs, collateralized debt positions. Very, very interesting alternative for taking profit. And again, it's not financial advice, but you should know your options and kind of look into various options. So with that, guys, I appreciate it. As always, be sure to like this video. Appreciate everyone that shares this around on Facebook, Twitter, etc. Remember to check the links in the description. Shout out to my channel members, Jamie XRP, Mikey, Crypto Beginner, Philip, Miles, Ken Melendez, and all other top channel members. Thank you all, and I will see you in the next one.